Get ready to milk a goat. Today we're going to be covering the essential milking supplies that you're going to need for milking your goat. Everything that we have here, or everything that we try to do, is to be as sustainable as possible. So a lot of this stuff is stainless steel. You're gonna see stuff all over as you search and research the things that you need to have for your farm, for your goats, and for your dairy animals. A lot of these things are consumables. So that means that, let's say it's a filter, you might have to rebuy filters all the time if it's not stainless steel. So the stuff that we focus on and we try to do is to be really sustainable on our farm and in our practices, clean and sustainability. And that's everything that we're gonna do today with everything that I'm gonna show you. The very first thing everybody should have on mind is a milking pan. This is actually what I used first before anything else. It's a stainless steel pan, and something that you're gonna wanna avoid are rivets. This one actually has rivets up at the top, but I never got enough milk to reach it all the way up to the top of the rivets. It's another surface that you have to clean and then be really careful about, because milk can get stuck in there and make it more troublesome to clean. But I still don't entirely have a problem with this one. It's what we used from the very beginning, and these two rivets are not that big of a deal in my case. If we look at something like one of these bigger ones that were designed for milking cows, and we look on the inside, there's actually no rivets on the inside. It's completely solid steel on the inside, no rivets, no seams, just one solid surface. This makes cleaning and everything else way easier. One of the reasons why something this small works so well for goats is because, depending on the type of goat that you get, goats can be very small. And let's say that you got Nigerian dwarfs, this might even have a challenge fitting underneath some of them. The milking container that you're going to be milking in, it needs to be sizable for that goat. That's one reason why I do like this, because it should fit most goats, and your hands should be able to fit underneath as you're milking even those smaller goats like the Nigerian dwarfs. There was actually a size between these two. I just don't know where it is right this minute. I think it is about 1.5 gallons for that other one. I'll make sure that there's links for everything down below, and then you can go and see that too. But you do want that container to be actually stainless steel, and you want a lid to cover it. Generally, there aren't flies around goats, but you can cover it from flies, you can cover it from dust. You're just keeping it so that nothing gets into your milk can up until you get back up to the house. Now, we actually have 2 of these that would go down with us in milk, and the reason why we have 2 of them is because we use this to clean the udders. Now, there's a lot of different ways to go about doing this. The way that we like to do it is we used to put soap inside of here. Soap, it's goat soap that we would do. Homemade goat soap like I have right here. And the homemade goat soap would be in here with some fresh warm water, and then we would go and clean our goats with that. That was in the very beginning, and then we changed from doing soap to using vinegar. So what we would do now is add warm water most of the time. Doesn't really matter. I do warm just because if it's colder outside, it's nicer. If it's warmer outside, I'll do cooler. And then I will add vinegar into the water, and then I will have these cotton towels that are rewashable. And so that will just sit in here depending on the goat. I will have a few extra of these. This is really important to have because you don't want to milk just unclean udders. They lay down and they get dirty. There's just a lot of different things. You definitely want to clean them. The next thing is something like teat dip. We actually never use teat dip. I think it's not really that necessary to have. It's just another thing to have around with you all the time, and I don't really think that it's totally necessary. If you do want to wash your goats with something extra ahead of time, you can get iodine to where you can spray your goats' udders. Generally, practices would be spraying the udders after you're done to stop any bacteria. And as we're on spray bottles, this is what we generally use. There's nothing like it's called the professional sprayer. These heads, there's nothing like, I've never had a problem with them. They're always great. And something annoying is literally this one's gone bad, these go bad, all sprayer heads go bad, and this one has been the most reliable continually. So I will do this for iodine, for all of that. Now we're doing this in order of milking to coming back up to the house, because you're gonna need stuff back up to the house. But before you're done milking, you're going to need something very important. And it doesn't seem like it's a milking thing, but I promise you this is best to do while you're in the position of milking. And that is shears for the goat's hooves. The goat is already in the headlock. It's already in the stanchion. It's really important to check their hooves to make sure that they're not overgrowing. And you're gonna want a good pair of shears so that once a week you at least check your goat, lift up its leg, check the goat to see how the hooves look and to see if you need to trim them, because while you're done milking, after you've done everything so that you stay clean, put the milk off to the side and then check your goat's hooves and just trim them really quickly. Make that part of your milking routine and things will go smoother for your farm and your animals will be happier for it. Now, as it comes to a consumable, one of the biggest things that I see online and people suggest is the milking, it's called a milking filter generally. And we did this for a tiny bit of time and you can see they're still full, but I didn't want to get stuck in buying these things all the time. And they are they're literally made for milking. And you just kind of, well, it depends on the filter that you're using. You would kind of make a cone shape, set it inside of the strainer and let the milk go through here. It's nice because it's really fine and you can really be sure that nothing's getting through here. But I don't like it because you have to buy these all the time. And just as a person who really cares, or our family really cares about chemicals and anything else that we like put into our bodies, I don't know what these are made out of. I don't know what they're being held together with. It's just one of those things. So we have to buy it and you don't know exactly what is in here. And your milk is passing through it as a filter. And that's why we got rid of these. And we moved on to something else. And that is a filter like this. It's a filter inside of a funnel, and both of those can sit on top of a jar or any other thing to be strained into. Now, the nice thing about these strainers is that they're very fine. And the fineness of it, I find hair from the bottom of the udder can fall down inside of the milk, and the filter's gonna get that out. There could be other debris, dust, that kind of stuff that can make its way into the milk, and that's what you're straining all of it out. And as a non-consumable, always at hand, where you just wash and sanitize, this filter has been the best thing. No more spent money, just continually using a stainless steel filter. The thing that I like about this one is that it isn't just the stainless steel as it sits on a jar, because sometimes that could come out of the sides. It also has a funnel. That funnel is on the outside, the filter's on the inside, so anything that comes down into the filter is then kept in by the funnel and everything goes very cleanly inside of the jar. When you're in the position of milking your goat, you don't necessarily need this thing. I just want to let you know it's out there and it is something that it can be an option to you. This is a giant funnel. This is specifically designed for cows. I don't have one and I never bought one for goats, but essentially what you do is you put this on top of your milking can while you're milking, and on this will be a filter screen on the inside of here. So as you're milking the animal, it goes down, passes through a screen, it keeps debris and anything out from inside of here. It's like a pre-filter to then come home or go back up to the house or inside and filter again. Because I would just naturally double filter, but this is a pre-filter. Again, most people don't use these. I do see some. Not something that's totally necessary, but I wanted you to know that something like this is out there. When you get back up to the house and you strain your milk, there's a lot of different jars and containers, but I promise you, considering the type of jar that you put your milk in is going to benefit you greatly in the long run. One thing that we love to use is the mason jars. And I think, honestly, I just think that you should do this one. Don't do anything else, just do the mason jar. And wide mouth mason jar. The reason why it's wide mouth is because, well, I have bigger hands. It's really hard for me to get my hand in there, but you can actually get in here and clean. The small mouth mason jars, it just is a lot harder to clean and make sure everything's sanitary for every time you milk. Mason jars with the wide lid is the way to go. And that also gives us the ability to have these nice reusable plastic lids. We try to avoid using plastic all the time, but the metal rings and the metal things that sit on top, these, well, they can get rusty over time, and they're actually not designed to be reused over and over and over. These are designed to be put on, sealed, and then throw away, and then you buy new lids. So the thing that we really like is the plastic ones that go on top. They get washed, everything works well. Now a quick thing about the size of the jar. Honestly, this is going to depend on the type of goat, not just the type of goat, but the size of the goats that you're doing. If you have 2 goats that are Nubians, you're probably gonna need multiple of these, because I had a Nubian that would give me a 3/4 of a gallon. So it would be 1.5 of these big half-gallon jars every time I milked her. So I definitely needed the larger ones. If you're milking something like a Nigerian Dwarf, well, generally a Nigerian Dwarf is gonna give you 4 cups per milking, and that is one of these. You can use multiple sizes, you only have to buy 1 lid size, and everything works just great. Now these are really the main milking supplies that you're gonna need for your goat. You can do a milk machine, you don't have to, but you're gonna get milk in, and you're gonna have to milk into something, and you're gonna have to bring the milk into your house. This is the main stuff that you'll need. Now I got a little trick for you if you're new to goats. Goats don't provide cream the same way that cows do. Let me show you. A cow will give you cream by the next day or even 12 hours later that is naturally separated from the milk. So all the heavy fats go up top and all the rest go down below. This could be mixed back in, shaken back in, but the cream, as you probably know, is where you get your butter and everything else from. You can make butter from goat's milk, but the problem is goats don't naturally give up their cream very easily. Goat's milk is considered naturally homogenized, meaning everything inside of the milk is naturally stuck together, and it takes almost like 3 to 5 days for the milk to separate from its heavy creams. So you could be waiting a long time to get your goat's heavy cream out of the container to try to make yourself butter, which is great, by the way, and you should try it, and that's why I'm giving you this little tip. Normally you'd be getting all of this stuff out with a ladle. This ladle is totally stainless steel, and I love it. And it fits perfectly inside of the jar to be able to scoop the heavy cream out. And that's where something like this helps out. This is known as a cream separator. There's something that spins on the inside of here, and when it spins, it naturally separates the cream from the milk. They go in 2 separate directions. You can control how thick or how thin that cream is by a knob on the inside, and you get your cream immediately. Literally, you're gonna go down in milk, come back up, take your milk, pour it into here. You're gonna let the machine do its thing. You're gonna get milk without the cream and just the cream, and you will be able to use that cream immediately to make goat butter without the goaty taste. It's a big tip I'm giving you because I hate the goaty taste, and I'm trying to save you from that goaty taste also. And that is it. These are the main supplies that you'll need in order to get your goat milking operation up and running and enjoy fresh milk from home. I've got 2 videos for you at the end of this to choose from. Normally the YouTube thing is only to do 1, but I really want to help you out. One of them is going to be how to do your goat hoof trimming so that while you're milking you can finish it. And the other one is once you're up and inside, I've got the best goat milk ice cream for you. I love it so much, and it was really hard to find a goat milk ice cream recipe, so I made my own, and that'll be for you at the end. So I hope you find your goats enjoyable, and if you have any more questions and if I missed anything, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.